What's up, guys? This is Matt, and you are watching TV Punch for Sunday, October 11th. And today I'm going to talk about the Season 2 premiere of The Flash. Now, I know this is several days late, but I was actually on vacation last week. I did still get to watch Flash and Arrow both, but I wasn't able to record any videos until just now. So I have several that I need to catch up on, so I'm going to be doing... I'm doing the Flash video now. I'm going to be doing an Arrow video later today, and I need to do an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video as well, but that may not come out until tomorrow, which is Monday. So, but they'll be coming out. So those are going to be a little bit late, but I'm going to get back on track with the shows this week. But let's get right to The Flash. Now, be careful for spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, pause this, go watch it, and come back. You'll be glad you did. But I'm going to talk about some of the things that I liked, some of the plot points that happened this week. I'm going to admit, I didn't love this episode as a single episode, but I did really, really enjoy it for what it's setting up to come. But we start off about 6 months in the future. Barry has decided that he wants to go it alone based on everything that's happened with the singularity. What that is, we don't know right at the beginning, but we do get a cool flashback as to what happened with the singularity, the big wormhole in the sky. We know why Barry's beating himself up, and we finally get an answer to why Robbie Amell is not in Legends of Tomorrow, and why we've recently seen images of a different firestorm. Basically, to stop the singularity, Barry ran up into it and ran around in circles, which they tried to add a little bit more of a scientific explanation to it. To me, it just looked like he was just running, just like he did in the very first episode of the first season, where he ran opposite direction of the big tornado. But whatever, it's the Flash. I mean, they can explain that running in circles does a lot of different things. But basically, he was able to stabilize the singularity by running in the opposite direction. Or again, they did give it some kind of scientific explanation. But then they realized the way to shut it down was that Firestorm had to fly up into the middle of it and then disband or separate himself. I guess that's how you would say it. And the energy from that would close the portal. Obviously, there was no certainty that either of them would return, and when that happened, we find that Martin Stein was falling to Earth, but Ronnie Raymond disappeared. So Flash was able to save Martin Stein, but Ronnie disappeared. I'm sure he's going to come back. My theory is that he got sucked into Earth too. But Barry took it pretty hard, and he decided that he doesn't want any help anymore. He decided that it's safer if he does everything on his own. That way none of his friends get hurt. So we're seeing him run around doing stuff on his own. We're seeing him repair some of the damage caused by the singularity. He's doing that in secret at night. We see him in the Jitters coffee shop trying to put it back together, which is pretty cool, I guess. But I think there was a comic once where somebody was asking the Flash to do something to build something or paint something, and they said, "Oh, you can do it really quick." And he said, "Well, to you I can, but to me, I'm still having to do all the work. So to me, it's still normal." So I was kind of wondering, like, how maddening that has to be to, even though to us it looks like he can do all this stuff super fast, he's still doing all this work. So to him, he's just slaving away, repairing everything. But it was cool to see that he's trying to take responsibility, even though he probably doesn't really need to. But it was cool to see him trying to sort of undo some of the damage that the singularity caused. Something else that I thought was cool in this episode was we get a little tiny glimpse into Earth 2 thanks to Cisco. Now, what I mean by that is when Atom Smasher attacked the Flash Day ceremony, right when Cisco was trying to help out Joe, he sort of zoned out for a minute, and to the rest of the world, it looks like he just sort of got lost for a minute, but we saw that he got a glimpse into Earth 2. Basically, he saw the Atom Smasher talking to Zoom. He didn't really know what to make of it, and if you didn't really know what was going on, you wouldn't really know what to make of it either. But we get just a little tiny taste into not only Earth 2, but what I thought was cool was we get a little tiny taste as to his power or ability, I guess, that they're going to be giving him. They alluded to the fact that he is in touch with vibrational frequencies of other Earths or other realms at the end of last season, and we get a little taste of that. So we kind of get to see what it's going to look like as he can glimpse into another reality. So that's going to be really cool to see that develop as the season progresses, and I'm really excited to see him sort of being able to take control of that and be able to actively look into other realities at some point. Now, I don't know if he's going to actually get powers that I guess you could say, that the Vibe has, being able to control vibrations and shockwaves and things like that, kind of like Daisy on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if he's ever going to get there, but even if he doesn't, it is going to be cool to see him sort of gain control of this ability to look into other Earths. A quick and fun little scene that we get is Martin Stein actually naming Atom Smasher, because his reasoning is he soaks up atoms or radiation in order to charge his powers, basically, and Smasher because he smashes. So that's what that was Martin Stein's contribution to naming of the supervillains, and of course Cisco loved it. That was really fun. That's been a running gag throughout The Flash, is the naming of villains, and this was a great continuation of that gag, but with a different character. I loved the scenes with Joe and young Barry, and then after that Joe and current age Barry. I loved it because it shows how great of a character that Joe is. It shows how great of a dad he is and how caring he is, how he really, really does care about Barry like a son. He's basically, I won't say he's the polar opposite of Captain Lance from Arrow, but I love seeing how he embraces Barry and everything that he can do, while Captain Lance he's always down on Laurel and even Sarah when he found out he doesn't want them to do anything. Joe just sort of embraces it and encourages Barry to do the right thing. And especially with the personality change that Captain Lance underwent in Arrow last season, and then seeing Joe, this is just kind of a nice breath of fresh air. That season, last episode of I think it was of Arrow, when Joe and Cisco came to town, and we got the great interaction between Joe and Captain Lance. I really loved seeing how their two sort of opposing characters sort of work together. But then, all that aside, just seeing Joe again be such a great dad and such a great father figure to Barry. I love seeing those types of scenes with Joe when he interacts like that with anyone, whether it's Barry or Iris, or, we're getting some good sort of buddy cop kind of scenes with him and Cisco now. I love seeing that. Basically, Joe is just a fantastic character, and anytime he interacts with anyone, it's fantastic. And then there's the fun little scene with the flash signal. So basically, Barry's trying to get Atom Smasher's attention, so he shines a light up in the sky that has a lightning bolt symbol in it. Very reminiscent of the bat signal. And of course, we get the great line from Caitlin asking Cisco where he got the idea. He said he thinks he saw it in a comic book once. That was awesome. Although I did kind of think that the flash signal was a little... Well, it wasn't that great, because it's just a real thin sliver of lightning in it rather than a big bat shining in the sky. But hey, I mean, it's fun. They're not going to keep it. It's just a great little fun nod, Easter egg, whatever you want to call it, to the hardcore fans. So with all that cool stuff that happened in this episode, there were two major problems that I had with it, and it didn't... I don't want to say that it lessened my enjoyment of the episode, because again, I really liked this, what it's setting up, but there was two major things that just kind of kept eating away at me the entire time I was watching it. And I'm going to do the later one first, but so again, spoilers, but at this point we've spoiled some things. So Harrison Wells leaves Barry a video confessing to Barry's mom's murder, which basically gets Barry's dad, Henry, out of jail. We'll talk more about that confession in a minute, but the fact that Henry gets out of jail, he's missed the last 14 or 15 years of his son's life. You would think that he would be ecstatic, wanting to do all kinds of stuff with Barry, catch up, but it's at his going away party. He basically tells Barry that he's going to leave. His excuse being, he tells Barry, do you really think you can be what this city needs you to be with me here? Well, why not? Why wouldn't he be able to be the Flash and to be what the city needs with Henry there? I don't understand that reasoning at all. Now, I understand that the real reasoning for this is so John Wesley Shipp can go and do other shows. I know he'll be back in a guest starring role, but he's not a regular. And I know that they have to explain where he is all the time if he's not going to be a regular in the show. I get that. But I just wish they could either make him a regular or think of something better. I mean, just the fact that he says, you can't be what the city needs you to be if I'm here, so I'm leaving. I haven't seen you much in the last 15 years, and I'm really proud of you, and it's awesome that you're the Flash and doing all this cool stuff, but I'm leaving. That just doesn't make any sense. He does say that he'll be there for Barry anytime Barry needs him, but gosh, that just doesn't make much sense at all, just for him to leave like that so quickly getting out of prison. But the big thing that really, really bothers me, and I'm really kind of scared that they're not going to address, but I hope that they do, is Harrison Wells himself. Harrison, as I mentioned, left Barry a video confessing to his mom's murder. And throughout the episode, they reference Harrison Wells several times. Okay. Problem with that is, at the end of season 1, Eddie shoots himself, and they even say in that episode, Eddie killed himself so that Eobard Thawne would never exist. Okay. If Eobard Thawne never existed, then he never came back to the present. He never, or really I guess to 2000 or 2001, whatever it was, he never killed the real Harrison Wells, which means he never took over Harrison Wells' body. If he never came back to the past, he never killed Barry's mom, which means he never would have had a confession tape to leave, which means Henry would have never gone to jail. And it's just this whole ripple effect. If Eobard Thawne never existed, all this stuff should have never happened. Hell, even Barry becoming the Flash may have never happened. But the fact is, they keep talking about Harrison, the Eobard Thawne version of Harrison Wells. They keep referencing him as if he was a regular guy and he just died the other day. It doesn't make any sense. If Eddie kills himself, Eobard never exists, which means Harrison doesn't exist, which means all this stuff doesn't happen, but yet they have memories of all of it. So I don't see, I mean, to me, that's a huge plot hole, and it really bothered me throughout the entire episode. I know I should probably get over it. Maybe they'll explain it away, or maybe it's one of those weird time isn't a straight line kind of things, and I don't know. That's the kind of thing that you get yourself into when you're dealing with time travel. But it just seems, for as smart of a show as Flash has been, and as much as they've really explained pretty well time travel and speed powers and all this other stuff, to me, that seems like a really big slip up. But again, they might explain it away. I hope that they do, because I'm sure if they don't, I'll get wrapped up inside all the other cool stuff that's going on in the season. But for now, Harrison Wells / Eobard Thawne, that should never have happened based on what Eddie did at the end of last season. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try not to let it bother me too much. Wish me luck. But anyway, that's it for this episode of TV Punch, this episode of The Flash. Despite a couple of problems with it, and despite the fact that it wasn't the absolute best episode of The Flash that we've ever had, it's setting up a lot. At the tail end of this, Jay Garrick walks in and introduces himself to Team Flash. So it's about to hit the fan starting next week. I can't wait for that. So I'm just so excited that The Flash is back on TV. It's one of my probably top 3 to 5 TV shows on TV right now. So excited it's back. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos. I'm going to try to be a lot more consistent, and I should be able to now that I'm back from the beach. But if you want to see those videos or anything else that we're doing, be sure to subscribe by clicking the button below, or you can check us out at youtube.com/nerdpunch. We're also on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, all of those /nerdpunch as well. And of course, there's nerdpunch.com, where we're posting a bunch of other cool stuff that we're checking out online. And it's where you can go to check out our schedule of upcoming videos. There's hopefully going to be a lot of them. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.